Yo, chat, how we doing? Another episode of CK101. How you guys doing today? Got a lot of stuff to go over. A lot of CKL stuff. Not ECRC is still on spring break, so yeah, ECRC has one more week of break, and they start up again this Friday, so gonna be a bit waiting on that. But aside from that, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. CKL just especially popped off. There's so much we got to go over today, and then yeah. So we got the CKL recap. We're going to start looking at the playoff picture. Next week's going to be fun because we have a more updated playoff picture for CKL. Plus, we'll have the ECRC playoff picture that's like, because by then it'll be determined. And why not? We'll get into a bit of the awards predictions. There's going to be some fun stuff. I don't even know what the finalized award list is going to be. That'll be fun though. So let's get right into it. I got pinged somewhere. I should probably check where I'm getting pinged. Oh yeah, I forgot it's Wednesday IPL for Splatoon stuff. But yeah, let's get right into it then with the recap of what is it, week 3 of CKL? That's gonna be fun. Where's screen share? Streaming stuff. Oh, it's ECRC stuff. Go follow the ECRC stuff if you don't already. Shout out to all the new followers, by the way. We have 90 somehow. I think a lot of it has to do with Steel City Sprint being this past weekend. I just got a ton of stuff, but yeah, 90 followers. There's a follower goal of 100 for some reason. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Actually, no, I might have an idea of something I want to do yet. When we hit 100 followers, I'll drop the list then. Get to 100 today. Nah, I don't know about that solution. But if I ever do, if I ever do meet Solution IRL, maybe I will give Solution an autograph, because I don't think anyone else is gonna care. But the fact that even if it's a joke to get an autograph, I appreciate the offer. Okay, D4. Now D4 is fun. No, D4 was not fun at all because of the fact that I have to just drop penalty after penalty because of like tag issues. Like, of all the things I'm dropping penalties for, it's tag issues. Like, really, guys? Come on. I don't feel good about having to drop all the penalties. I am sorry. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to do this either. I really don't feel good about it, so... But we'll go into what happened. UVM of all things, yeah. Black, forfeit. There's a couple of D4 that still have to be played. Big Daniel and New Mexico, a reschedule from week 2. It has to be played still, and I think Western has to be played. Yeah, Western and New Mexico is being played Friday. Okay, we're gonna start it off right now. Oh, not this guy. And no, come on. Not the bot. Yeah, come on. We didn't even have... This is a legitimate 6v6. Come on, guys. Come on, yeah, thank you for the ban. Okay, UWO versus Triton Clown College Squad. Yeah, UCSD too. And here, yeah, massive improvement from the last UCSD. Shout out Top Hat Bear being in chat. Unfortunately, or fortunately, if you are Zay, who was drafted Domi, it's still a UWO win, and once again, we have another 180. I didn't think I'd ever see 2 180s from the same person in my life, let alone in the same season, 2 weeks from each other. But here we are. UWO 557 to UCSD 2 427 plus 130 win for UWO. As Top Hat Bear mentioned, this is a big improvement, honestly, for UCSD 2. We're happy to see it for them. For UWO, Domi 180. Again. Yeah, 180 again. Like, what the heck, guys? What are we gonna do about this? Yeah, Mila's Divine Perfection. Yeah, this is my favorite Fire Emblem song in Smash. It's like, it cooks so well. Yeah, let Domi cook. I don't know. The AGS player. The American Gunslingers player from Canada. It just works. We don't even have to elaborate on this anymore. At this point, this is natural. Wait, I'll give you a glimpse on what the table is looking like for D4 after this, but it's like his average is off the charts. Like, oh my god, 5-minute iframes, yeah. Eatham 102, Eugene 82, Ninja 78, Ironcraft 61, Agent CY 54. UWO hasn't lost yet. it's not a surprise considering you have Domi who's playing well, but Eham has also been doing good lately. So something's in the maple syrup. How are we? Is she just running away on them? I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what Domi is doing, but this person is insane. And props to them. Props to them. Honestly. Who knows? Yeah, like, even if you pick Baggers, even if you pick Trainbow, they're still running away on everything. That's just the skill difference, I think, at that point. Domi, my girl, yeah, she just runs away. I'm sorry for the wrong use of pronouns this entire time. I am very sorry to Domi. I gotta get, like, everyone's, like, pronouns in some way, just so I don't misgender people on stream. I feel terrible about it. But yeah, she's doing insane. 180 twice. That's unheard of. Yeah. Y'all think a former gunslinger gonna get bag dipped? Like, remember, this was AGS when they died. Like, I thought because it was on AGS, like, when the time AGS was, like, no longer was, like, dying of relevancy, that maybe it wasn't gonna be that bad. But no, she was... Because Gunslinger was, like... AGS peaked at, like, D4. She was on it when they were D9-ish, and then they got disqualified because they didn't gather. They just died halfway through their last MKU. I think they died during Frontier also, but could be wrong. But yeah, UWO is a phenomenal team. Are you surprised to see this? Not at all. And then now for UCSD2, Lemon 90, Brown 86, IBA 71, Nub 70, Pets 59, Yam 51. Overall, it's a better effort from this team. They're improving. But we love to see that from this group. Lemon still putting in the work. A lot of the players on UCSD2 have been improving overall. So, yes, they got 180 again. Hate to see it. But they're getting better, and that's really, at the end, what matters for them. University of New Mexico versus EIU. Yes, the UVM instead of the UNM. Who knows? 543 to 441. Was this penalized? Please tell me this was on here. There might be. I know this was the one where there was... Oh, no, this was... Yeah, UCSD, UW... Oh, had a 10-point penalty on UCSD. I'm sorry. And at Florida, EIU with the penalty. Okay. New Mexico versus EIU, 543 to 441, plus 102 in favor of New Mexico. G72, 137, Yellow 92, Donnie 90, Skinny 88, Wheezy 75, Daniel 61. Yeah, the 7 skull symbols on that. I don't feel good about it. I'm sorry, guys. I have to, like, put out the penalties just because, to be fair, but I don't want to. Like, I feel terrible about it personally, but yeah. Make it a 9. Hate uppercase letters. Okay, if you just all go lowercase, I would be fine with it. As long as they're all the same. Realistically, it should be all capital, because I think that's what the tag on MKC is, but at least keep them all consistent, and I won't bother, and I won't penalize on it. But real, it's a minor penalty. As long as it doesn't change the outcome of the game, I don't care that much about it. New Mexico's putting in a ton of work. Now, this is a team we remember going in after Pacific League. We weren't too sure what to expect because every college team is going to get destroyed in Pacific League, and most likely MKU/Frontier/Paradigm. So, knowing this, we weren't exactly sure what to do with New Mexico. But there's some insane stuff happening here. This is a New Mexico without Bean also. And Bean was putting in a ton of work. This entire season. G72 is one of the best, like, prospects I can think of right now. I think G72 might have the case for, if not just rookie of the season in D4, definitely has they would probably be, like, maybe number 3 in MVP voting for D4. Obviously not MVP. I think we all know who's getting MVP in D4. But overall, New Mexico is a very strong contender, I think, in the group. It's really, like, them, UWO, and I think Florida who are the strongest teams, and New Mexico is, like, compared to the others, they feel kind of more solid all across the order, which I think is going to be good for them, especially in the long run. Yeah, as for EIU, Megaphil 127, Musk 95, Llama 76, 752, Drago 48, Mimikyu 43. Megaphil has been playing well. I've noticed that, along with Musk. And like EIU has had a rougher season compared to D4 MVP unanimous or we riot. Yeah, honestly, we'll get to that. This is, I think it's a no contest on who D4 MVP is, but we'll get to that later. If you're looking at EIU, contending wise, I don't know. I don't know if EIU is going to be contending for that last playoff spot, but they're here and they're not doing too bad this season. They do have a win which we will get over, which we will go over. But overall, this is a better EIU than last season, and I think that's some good prospects. I don't know if they're going to be all graduating. I don't know how many of them are older or returning for the fall, but EIU I think is going to be on the come up a bit. Megaphil I think is a contender for most improved because I think we're going to have to add that award this season. And I'm really excited for that. EIU, University, Florida. This one had a penalty as well. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. How many skulls on this one? How many ones on this one? Okay, I have a feeling that they're just gonna add onto this now because it's on stream. So have fun, guys. How many of you are reacting like this? Oh, dang. No, I don't blame you. We will talk about what happened in D2 soon. EIU, University of Florida. There's like a plus 108 difference, so 541 to 433 because of penalty. EIU wins this with a very convincing win, honestly. This is a UF without hobby, sadly, but EIU still have like nothing to be ashamed of here. So Muscolini 119, Llama 108, Megaphil 100, Panda Drago 86, Paco 80, 748, Elon Musk 119. Yo, I don't know what Elon Musk is doing, but EIU Musk has been doing well this season. Musk and Megaphil have actually been kind of on the come up. And like I think if you were to do like all stars like traditionally, I think they'd fit the bill. And this is a very good result for EIU. Llama hasn't been playing as well like this before, but if this is anything, this is going to be great. Hobby decided to go to a wedding instead of playing Mario Kart Bus? No, no, hate to see that. Hopefully the wedding was fun though. As for Florida, Max 134, Wolfo 96, Amelia 77, Jersey 63, Monkey 38, S Funk 35. Yeah, no hobby. It made this much harder than it had to be, but not a terrible result for Florida overall. Max has been putting in a lot of work, and I know that they're a contender for like first team at least. So really excited to see what that happens, how that progresses. Woofle 96 and Amelia 77. Yeah, those have been some of the more consistent players on Florida by the looks of it. So I think this is a solid team overall. I still think Florida is more likely than not to win in the rematch, and I think Florida's a better shot at making playoffs, but that's just me. So it really just comes down to like if they just get if Hobby plays more often. Yeah, or if Hobby starts to go to more weddings. There's the screenshots that weren't attached. How many was that? 9 skulls. McDaniel versus UCSD2. This is a go-to table if you are a Sandberg fan. So, McDaniel 515, the UCSD2 469, Sandberg 127, Glacial 113, Mudkip 88, Toxic 70, then 67, G-Forcer / Darth Gaber 50. And then for UCSD2, we're looking at Nub 108, Lemon 94, IVA 91, Brown 89, Yam 55, Dash 32. Nub Nuggets 108, let's go. If you're a McDaniel fan, this is actually really cool to see. This is a Sandberg Masterclass, if we're being honest, on 127. I think that's the highest I've ever seen Sandberg score. We'd love to see that, honestly. Sandberg locking in for Face ID makes everyone happy, man. Yeah. Then, so yeah, overall, for McDaniel, this was a very solid lineup overall, and a very strong result for them. Looking at the Cooking and D4, he did his nickname proud. Lemon's Imposter had it again. Oh my god. Yeah, this is solid because Glacial I think is probably my pick for most improved, especially going from last season to this season. Like Glacial has been such a big name now for McDaniel. We love to see that. Mudkip's been playing well too, and Toxic has been strong. Then in G-Forcer, this is a much better result compared to what we were used to seeing as well. So that's fine then. Then here for UCSD2, yeah, the Nub Nuggets Masterclass, the 108 there. We love to see that. I'm really rooting for UCSD2 to get that win. I think it's gonna be coming up sooner than we believe. And then Lemon 94, IBA 91. This is a solid lineup for UCSD2, and I think this is a great sign of things to come for this program. And like we already know how good UCSD1 is. When this second team gets going, this is going to be a very scary group to watch out for in D4, D3 as they climb up. And like just to give a reference to like UCSD Splatoon, UCSD Splatoon's top team is like Division 1, and then their B team is Division 2 out of like 5. They're like legitimately just powerhouses in that school. I legitimately think that UCSD Mario Kart is eventually going to be at that level. It's just how long until that happens. Sambert's last season going on beautifully. Sambert is doing what I wish I could have done last year. And then lastly, oh wait, this is the mid table? No, Florida versus McDaniel. The farewell tour, yeah. We're looking at 529, a 455, a plus 74 win in favor of the University of Florida. Hobby 164, holy, Hopeful 96, Max 89, Amelia 75, Steampunk 56, Drizzy 49, Pepper McDaniel, Sambert 94, Glacial 92, Mudkip 83, Toxic 69, G-Force 59, then 58. Overall, this is solid for both teams. You knew Florida was going to be doing a Hobby feeding families, yeah. I feel so bad for Hobby that Hobby's going to be a consensus second place in MVP. How do you drop a 164 and we're consensus number 2? I can't believe that's happening. Who would have thought? Like, insane stuff that's happening in this division, but Hobby is super valuable to the University of Florida, and like having this kind of stuff on this team now is just really good, and I think this is going to be a good sign for things to come later on. So overall, if you're Florida, especially with Woofle now getting these better points, I am really excited for this team to see what they do, and I think they're going to get that last spot in playoffs. If not, at least they're probably going to be at least second or third seed. And then McDaniel 94 for Sandberg, Glacial 92. That's what expected. Having that more of the consistency, we knew those are the two top players on McDaniel right now. Mudkip rounding out with the top 3, and then G-Force Toxic rounding out the bottom. This is all a very solid group overall, though. So, and only plus 74 win. That's not bad at all. Happy to see it for both teams. If you take a look now at the table, I think I updated this all. Let me see. Yeah, this is mostly updated. It might not be completely updated, but here's the gist of it. So, UWO has 1 game to play still, New Mexico still has 2, and then McDaniel has 1. So, once all that gets in, then I'll post the official update. Western is or Western Ontario University, whatever it is. I feel so bad I don't always know their name. They're running away right now. Yes, New Mexico is also undefeated, so they play Friday. I think that. Imagine if we had that on prime time. That'd be a really fun thing. Actually, to see Adomi prime time, that'd be like really cool. Should put Morgan in D4 so every team has a super player. Nah, Morgan is doing fine in D3, as we will see very soon. Western and New Mexico are pretty much, I think, the consensus teams on who's making playoffs at least. And then it really comes down to how these shake up. I believe Florida is going to be the group that makes it out, to be honest. Admittingly, UCSD 2 is winning. Both their wins are from forfeits, sadly. McDaniel has a couple wins. I know one was a 5v6. I think the other one was 6v6 against EIU. So they're solid as well, but I do think Florida, especially because they have the win over McDaniel, I think they just beat the rest of the teams down here, assuming they gather, and it should be Florida making it out. I would love to see UCSD2 make a run the playoffs, so I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to see EIU climb up and make a run at playoffs as well. And they kind of just echo what we've been seeing. I don't know if I did all the indivs for this division yet, but Domi's averaging a 162. That's crazy. A 162? Like how? How is Hobby averaging like 147 and not leading the table? This is record-setting numbers. And then there's this. It's like the 2016 Spurs, pretty much, for the NBA fans here, who just kind of got overshadowed because they just had the 2016 Warriors in the same conference, and because they also choked and lost the Thunder in the second round. But, dear lord, 162 and 146? 122 is also an insane average. Let's be realistic here. 111 is very good. And then 104, 101, 100. 7 people are averaging 100. Yo, shout out Sandberg averaging 100. These are very solid players in this division. It's actually really exciting to see what happens here. So yeah, shout out Sandberg GOAT. So yeah, the playoff picture is looking like this. Western, New Mexico, and I still think it's Florida. Granted, any of these teams could make a run. All 4 of these could make a run here, but I definitely have the most faith in Florida right now. You have Max, who's playing very well, average in 4th overall. Hobbies in 2nd. This is a great team overall, so I think Florida is probably going to be the pick here. And then for awards, let's be honest, MVP, consensus MVP. If anyone is voting against Domi for MVP, something is wrong, because she deserves MVP. It's insane. Hobby for sure is like runner-up. I think it probably would go G72 as 3rd. The first team would just be the top 6, second team would be top 12. And then I like having it in D3 and D4. And I think these are well deserved for a 3rd team. Rookie of the season, if you count New Mexico as being new, which I think I would put G72 as probably the rookie of the season, just for the stuff they're doing in New Mexico. If you don't, then there's a few others probably you could go with. I probably have to think about it. Maybe one of the UCSD players, like Lemon, is playing pretty well all season. A couple others, and then most improved. I'm going Glacial. I think Glacial's just been really consistent. Megaphil's also been very good though, so I really think it's either or. You could even go Muscolini, Elon Muscolini, or even like a couple others. Oh, Ironcraft I think is new. Ironcraft might have a shot for rookie of the season. We'll get to that. Brown 420 maybe? Yeah, I could see that. I saw Brown's scores go up a lot, so could see it. Let's go D3. D3 is fun because a lot of the matches got delayed a while. And we're still waiting on the last one, which is Moravian, Nebraska, plays tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Won't be there for that, so that'll be fun. That's Moravian's gonna be playing without coaching, like in-person coaching for the first time in a while. So that'll be interesting to see. Saints Karting versus UAH. 501 483 plus 18 win in favor of Saints Karting. Guilty Echo 119, Moo 102, Bonkers 100, Dream 97, Shimao 48, Chariot 35 from UAH, Creo 107, Cheese 97, Green 84, Cordy 78, Drasty 71, Etherolite 46. What am I gonna do if Moravian cooks with me not there? I won't lie. I think my job is like on the line, like legitimately. So, well, don't be surprised if in the next few weeks you see me posting like general looking for a team to coach, and I just throw my coaching resume because Knox might fire me. You never know. We'll see. I'm the McDonald's supplier. Yeah, at least for you and Baja. Yeah, at least for Baja and Angle, I'm there. That's just dad things at that point. So if you're Saints Karting, the big three has been cooking all season. This Canadian big three, I don't know who's LeBron, who's Chris Bosh, who's Dwayne Wade, but they've been playing very well all season. Shout out to Nitro. Wendy's is actually probably the best fast food objectively of the three burger places. What are the Canadians putting in their syrup? I don't know, but I kind of want whatever they're putting in their syrup because this is great. And then Dream 97. We knew the top three was good, and now here we are adding in a fourth who is being very solid here. Look at this. If Zay's still in chat, Dream is now Mario Chalmers or Shane Battier, whoever Zay wants to put there. And then Shimout and Chariot are like Norris Cole and who else? I don't want to say Mike Miller. Ray Allen. Legitimately, yeah. Dream could be Ray Allen. Making the big three the Fantastic Four. That's a line, actually. I kind of love that. And then you get what is it? The Fab Five and the Sinister Six. That's basically how it goes. And now it's make it all Canadian. So why not? This is good for Saints Karting though. Yes, Shimout and Chariot haven't progressed to that level yet. Keyword yet. But now they're having the Fantastic Four, that's a very scary group. And Saints Karting is halfway through the season. They can definitely make a run. Chariot is Joel Anthony. Let's go. Now, UAH is in one of the most interesting situations I've seen in a while. Week 1, Creo just kind of got bodied. And I remember the allegations, is Creo washed? Is Creo not that guy? And Green was scoring a ton. And now Creo's kind of answering back. Creo is still pretty much the top player at UAH, at least in terms of consistency. And now to see the 107 come back, that makes me happy. Yes, Creo's average has dropped since last season, but they're playing against insane players in this div, so that doesn't surprise me completely. And then you have Cheese, who's still very solid. Cheese is really developed into a really good number 3 option. And then Green as well. Green has kind of cooled off since after a really hot start. But I think overall, this is a very good group. I'm pretty excited to see how they progress going forward. Now, Corti and Dracius, they've been playing well lately, I think. And Etherolite's been kind of inconsistent, but overall, UAH is a solid group, and Space Captain hasn't been as active this season, it looks, by the looks of it, which is kind of rough for them to not have some of their best players, one of their best players play, but they're keeping up really close in a lot of these matches. And I'm wondering, don't be surprised if UAH makes a run. Now, granted, the plus, the minus, the 20-point rule is no longer gone, and to shout out last season, we finally got it. I finally figured out how to get rid of the 20-point rule in the sheets. So, like, not in the near future, all the sheets for the next update will have no more of, like, the 20-point rule. So, we are saved from the Mickey Mouse playoff runs for now. We might still get some Mickey Mouse playoff runs, but it won't be because of the 20-point rule. We finally figured out a way to get rid of it. Microsoft Edge Discord is criminal. Yeah, it is. I the only reason I use Edge is because Edge just like Chrome takes up a ton of battery life on my computer, and I do prefer Chrome every other situation. And then the only reason I don't use the Discord app when I'm streaming is because it's easier to just swap between tabs. That's really it. No, I literally have the app. When I do like video interviews, I use the app. But here I'm like, okay, we'll just use it's just tab 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 tab. It's just easier that way instead of like switching windows pretty much. The app is so much better than the browser, but I use it just for streaming purposes pretty much. Spicy John. You know, the sad thing is that nickname I think is kind of stuck, and I don't know how to feel about it. FIU versus UAH, 552 to 432. This is a dream season for Florida International. Legitimately. I think maybe the actual big three might be the group at FIU. We got Milkshake 137, Nick 100, Ted Bear 95, Dragon Slayer 83, MD Rex 69, Star the Cat 68, and then from UAH, oh, they played a 5v6, I just realized that. Creo 93, Cheese 87, Green 77, Cordy 70, Dracia 68, and the Vodka 37. FIU, oh yeah, I think they could have been D2. I know, they legitimately could have been. The big thing I think that who would have we put down? I think it probably would have been. I think looking back, we put Tennessee down. But I think we saw. I remember watching the ECRC results. I'm like, oh my god, Evolved and these four are cooking. But then it's like, oh yeah, the 6v6 stuff. Because, yeah, I remember in ECRC Tennessee had a win over Virginia Tech. Granted, it was without ice and fours and that's all that. But yeah, hindsight's 2020. We would have put FIU and Tennessee probably would have been swapped. Imagine we do like relegation mid-season. For those, none of the people here, I think in this chat, were here for for MKU 15, which was one of the biggest Mickey Mouse things in the world. I wasn't even there for that, so that was a scene. Just hearing about it. But if you're looking at FIU, Nick, Milkshake, Ted Bear. Now this is a big three. This is legitimately like one of the best big threes. I think Ted Bear is probably like Dwayne Wade. Ted Bear is legitimately just Dwayne Wade. Like, yes, it was kind of their team, but now like they know they don't have to be the number one option to just lead the team, and I kind of love that seeing here. And then Milkshake's basically LeBron at this point, just putting up these massive numbers. You could argue maybe a different player here, and Nick is like the prototypical Chris Bosh. Like, Nick, I think, has kind of gone under the radar in terms of, like, value, because we look at Milkshake and we hear from Ted Bear. But, like, Nick has been so good lately. And I think Milkshake does stream, at least to call, so we might be seeing potential FIU primetime in the future. The thing is, FIU kind of washes, like, every team in this division at the moment. I think it's, I think a lot of it has to do with how good Ted Bear has led this team. Like, I am of the belief that Division 3, I think, has some of the best, like, leaders overall. But it's... Yeah, I think D3 has some of the best, like, captains in this entire scene. You have Zay from Oregon State. You have Knox/Baja from Moravian. You have LeBob, who's helping out with Nebraska. And you have the big three over at Saints Carding, and then like Creo and Crew over at UAH. But it really shows how good of a captain Ted Bear is. If I think Ted Bear might be the best captain in the division now, which is just insane. Ted Bear is just that good as a leader, and I kind of love to see that. Meanwhile, for UAH, playing with a bot isn't fun, but you can just see that, yeah, without a 6, it's just really hard, because now you have Creo, Cheese, and Green did what they could, but it's just really wasn't enough at that point. FIU versus Moravian, 539 to 445, a plus 94 win in favor of FIU. Now, let the record show that Up at by race 5, this was a plus 10 for FIU. Moravian kept this very close, I think, up until race 6. And then, if you don't know, FIU's best course is arguably Sky Garden. And that is kind of such a niche pick nowadays that I think that some teams just don't know what to do, Moravian being one of them. And then, yeah, plus 28 on Sky Garden just led to FIU kind of just steamrolling the rest of the way. But this was a very close war in the first, like, 5 races or so. So, like, the note that this was, like, a plus 10 up until race 6, kind of crazy. Doesn't he know? So, yeah. Milkshake 131, Nick 94, Ted Bear 92, MD Rex 85, Dragon Slayer 71, Cat 66. This was a big thing. This is just a big result from Milkshake 131. I kind of told Moravian, if you just eliminate the support around Milkshake, it'll be easier, and I think it worked to an extent, but I don't know if that's exactly Moravian's best forte. Yeah, FIU like Sky Garden. I knew that I watched UAH FIU the day before, and I noted down that FIU picks Sky Garden a lot. So if you want the scouting report, they pick it a lot, and they pick it in top spots. They run Sky Garden, and you can run Sky Garden. It's risky, because Sky Garden plays very similarly to Donut Plains 3 and Royal Raceway, where it kind of works as it works very well like DP3, where you can run it like crazy because of Super Balance or DP3 Nisk, but it has a lot of bagging potential. So FIU is a very strong group at running Sky Garden. They like picking it in 1-3, so keep that in mind if you want that. And the big thing is they don't even go for Super Bounce. They don't go for Leaf Super Bounce because it's going to be kind of inconsistent online, at this level at least. So if you want the scouting report if that's going to be the way to beat FIU, it's just to practice on Sky Garden, then go ahead. But keep in mind, then you got things like Nebraska likes Mute City, Moravian and Morgan like Super Bowl Subway. So Zay studies himself. Honestly, that's the way to go about it. But yeah, if you're FIU, this is a great result for them, and FIU is undefeated. FIU is 6-0. I think they're basically a lock for playoffs. They're probably the favorite to win it all. I don't know if they're going to be anything like this, but like they are going to. Oh, you study other teams on your own time? No, that makes sense. Nah, yeah, I think it's good to study teams. Like you get so much learning, and I love that. I personally really enjoy that, so happy that you get able to. And then for Moravian, Angle 109, Wumbo 91, Baja 78, Nox 66, Commodore 58, and Ash making her season debut with the 43. It was a good start for Moravian. I will still continue to say that. It was, if you ignore the fact that FIU was plus 84 in the last 7 races, this was just Moravian kept it close up until like the exception of like Sky Garden, Twisted, and there was one other course which I can't remember. But this is overall a solid result for Moravian. Like, at least for the most part. The result doesn't... Sunshine, yeah. Moravian just... Sunshine's also a good Morgan course, for those who don't know. It's an inconsistent Moravian course. For now. We'll see how that goes. It's, like, very hit or miss sometimes. It's just good in running spots for whoever picks it. For the most part. This was an interesting table. Interesting war for Moravian, just because of, like, I remember noting a ton of different things that I'm not going to go over on stream because I was just late the entire game plan, pretty much, but there's some good plays being made there, and I think this is more of a rebuild year, realistically, for Moravian, being at this point now, because, like, okay, we'll just build around Angle, build around Baja. Yes, Wumbo and Nox won't be there this season, but players like Commodore, once she gets consistent, I think her peak is going to be really high. Like, I legitimately think Commodore could be good. And it's funny because I don't know what Commodore's whole thing is when it comes to like switching setups, because at Steel City Sprint, Commodore played Peach Teddy and almost broke in the finals at one point. And then she went, what was it? Peach Comets last night in this ward. I'm like, what are you doing? But it's like, hey, switch hitter pretty much. We'll see how that progresses. But overall, yeah, not a bad result for Moravian, and FIU still looking strong like ever. And then prime time from last night because Morgan SK ended in forfeit, sadly. A second drops. 575 to 409 in favor of Morgan State. Zay with the 158, Nitro 109, Club 104. 3 people from Morgan hit 100. We love to see that. Ronan 90, Obsidia 80, and Sissy 34. Meanwhile, from Nebraska, Zoo with a 92, T-Bug 71, Saracen 66, Crazy 63, Marcoco 62, Mop 55. That's top 6 on Sky Garden? Oh my god. Oh my god, what the heck? Who would have thought? I need to see the Morgan FIU run back on Sky Garden because that'll be interesting. So, Morgan dropping 3 players with a 100. Now, we love that. Now, I'm big Morgan fan here personally. So, to see the Club 104, the Nitro 109 really makes me happy. I met a few of the Morgan players this past weekend. They're all great people, by the way. If you haven't met the Morgan players at IRL, they are all amazing people. So keep that in mind. And then to see Zay, we knew Zay was gonna do something like you can legitimately make the primetime Zay thing like now. Like, oh yeah, like Zay hit the Rajon Rondo late game. Whereas, like, Rondo just does really well in like, national TV games for no reason. That's basically what happened with Zay. 158, I want to see Zay again in primetime, see what happens. What was Morgan doing? Morgan just cooked. I thought this was going to be, like, really close. I remember, I was watching this, like, on the side, because Moravian played FIU at the exact same time. And I remember just looking at the results, I'm like, whoa, big win, big win, big win. Like, what is happening? I didn't think it would be this much of a blowout. But happy for Morgan overall to have these top three do amazing. Have Ronan drop the 90 and Obsidian with the 80. We love that we're being sure not to embarrass ourselves. That told them being sure not to embarrass. That's valid, that's valid. Actually, Fitchy, that was my plan. I was going to see if we could potentially do, like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we might do Tuesday, because I think a lot of the teams in D3 are available on Tuesday nights. So we could legitimately do, like, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, or we could have, like, 2 on one day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, like, every else. But yeah, I would love to have, like, every division on, like, every finals be casted. I think that'd be insane stuff. 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, and do back-to-back. I think we could do that also. It'll depend on the teams and everyone's availability. Granted, I know that some are more willing to be flexible than others. So, we'll see. D1, I think, for example, would have to be maybe Saturday night default. But while D2, D3 is flexible. D4, I don't know. And D2, I think, is pretty flexible. Ronan, when he's not on Larry, Clown Card needs to be studied. Whole different player. Ronan dropped the training weights. He pulled the Rock Lee moments in the Chunin exams against Gara. But won this time, but actually won. And then Nebraska, rough day for them. You could have, what is it, the Cleveland quote. Was it Jared Allen? Or was it Jared Allen? But the lights are too bright. Lights are brighter than I thought. Something like that. It's rough there, because it's weird seeing players like Mark Hoko not drop super high points, or Saracen having a rougher day, Zoo only dropping 92. It's a rough one for Nebraska, but I think it's a good VOD review for them in the future. They had a lot of POVs. That's a lot of different stuff for them to study, and I know Bo is over there now coaching Nebraska. I think this is just good progress. This is a very good learning moment for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if, when they play again, this could be good. Everything just clicked, so happy. Yo, those are the best. When everything just clicks and everything's on all cylinders, those are the best moments. Let's take a look at D3, the standings wise. FIU is undefeated in first place. And then Morgan is in second right now, 4-2. UAH is 2-4 on the season. Huskers are 2-3. They are missing a game. Moravian's also missing a game. And then Saints Karting is 2-4. Moravian is 1-4. So yeah, the only game missing is Moravian, Nebraska. If Moravian beats Nebraska, that is going to set up one of the most interesting things ever. Like, legitimately. Because then we will have 4 teams tied for that last playoff spot, which would be insane. Every team having at least a win is huge. Yeah, I'm happy that every team here at least has to win. Granted, Ravens is a 5v6, but we don't have to talk about that. So, FIU, I don't know if they've clinched playoffs already. I think they're going to clinch it this weekend. But to see FIU here, this makes me happy. Ted Bear is such a phenomenal person, and they're putting in so much work, and it's really paying off for them. Morgan is playing well, and I think they're playing well at the right time. I think they're rescheduling this weekend because of Zay having to go to funeral. My apologies, my condolences to Zay, but overall, I think Morgan is still a very strong team. I think Morgan makes playoffs this season. I don't think there's a 20-point rule that's going to break them this time, which would have been interesting because UAH was winning. It was getting a couple points off of those 20-point rules. And then the last spot for playoffs. I don't know. I legitimately don't know about this. Part of me thinks that the Big Three, the Canadian Big Three, is going to bring it all together and make one run at this. Maybe if UAH gets 6, they have the consistency, I think, to make that last spot. Nebraska, they have the bow coaching difference, and I think their peaks are really high. I think Nebraska could easily take that last spot. And Moravian's a wild card, I think, at this point. Maybe Moravian just ends up playing spoiler. Because I think Moravian has a rough end of the season. Who do they play next? Yeah. Oh, they basically just have everyone. It's just their redos. So Nebraska, then Oregon, then Saints, then UAH, then FIU. That's a rough season. Way to end the season. But doesn't know about oh yeah, oh nice, you're over there too. That's great to hear. I will say, yeah, I think Moravian is adding a second coach. I know that Moravian is bound to have like 4 coaches next season, I think, because I'm getting replaced. But I know Moravian's getting a new coach. The Big Three of them are basically all coaches. Huskers now has 2 coaches. UAH deserves one, and Ted Bear is basically remember we're sending the VOD on Thursday to one of the players from Buzz. So yeah, Buzznick. Gotta send that VOD over so we have another coach. Donate some coaches to Morgan, please. No, the rumor mill is that I'm getting fired, so if Morgan wants a coach for playoffs... Does Morgan want a coach for playoffs if Moravian doesn't make it? Well, we will see. $20 subs and I coach Morgan for 20 subs. For MSC, I won't lie, 20 subs is more than I'm getting paid at both Oklahoma and Moravian. Because I'm not getting paid either way. I do it for volunteer stuff, but hey, if you're gonna donate subs, then hey, why not? Got a snap, by the way, hold up. Make a city except bagging? You know what? Oklahoma didn't bag until I started VOD reviewing with them. So, it's possible. It's possible. I won't guarantee anything here, but what did you just drop in CL General? Yeah, your worth as a human being is directly tied to your skill at video games made for children. I will say, I think a few people take that to heart. I think a few people do take it a bit too literally, but yeah, I know I played Smash before Mario Kart, so yeah. I feel. And then, okay, we'll go awards. Okay, the question is it Zay or Milkshake for MVP? Milkshake doesn't drop the same numbers that Zay is doing, but Milkshake also won the 1v1, so it's like hard to tell. I know Zay is at least going to get the people vote for sure. It's hard. I legitimately think these two are like the front runners for MVP. I don't think. Oh yeah, true. Zay is good at Fortnite. Maybe that's probably it. But then you argue that Angle's good at Rocket League, so. But there, I think these three are probably like in some order. It's Zay, Milkshake, and then Angle is third, maybe, and then legitimately all of Saints carding together is like there. It's just like on the podium too. Creo might not be an MVP consideration. That's weird to think about. Most improved is Nitro. Like, good to know. Good to know. Oh, for Indivs, I'm only looking at CKO results. So like only within this season. So I haven't actually looked at like anything else outside of that. I think Nitro is my pick for most improved. If not Nitro, I am going probably Bonkers. But I think Nitro is probably my pick for most improved. Rookie of the season? Who would that be? Oh, second and third for most improved. It's gonna be one of Saints carding and probably Wumbo. Dream might be rookie of the season. Mumu could be for most improved. Maybe Dream here. I think that's really it. There's not actually a ton of rookies in Div. Kind of interesting. Nick? I forget if Nick. I don't know if did Nick play last season. If Nick did not play last season, then it actually would be Nick. Because I think you gotta get the flowers over to. I think you gotta get flowers to FIU whenever possible. But if Nick is not, oh yeah, if Nick didn't, then yeah, Nick is my pick for rookie this season. It's so weird because I'm looking at how Nick plays and I'm like, there's no shot this guy's a rookie. Like that's how good Nick has gotten so fast. D2, now D2's fun. D2 had some crazy stuff happen. I think we went over that last week. D2. I think this was rescheduled. Yeah, this is within. So, here we go. This one was rescheduled, so we can talk about this now. Virginia Tech versus Michigan State. 549 to 435 win for VT. Talk about the whole season. Watch the VODs, because I don't have time to talk about the entire D2 season as much as I want to. Ice 161, Cynical 115, Steamy 87, Hyper 73, Blizzard 65, Keyan 48. And then for Michigan State, I don't know, 108, Nova 86, Jalapeno 73, Silver 69, Adler 62, Positive 37. I remember seeing this table and thinking maybe Virginia Tech's the favorite to win it all this season. And they're definitely up there because I thought these two were like neck and neck for who would be like the top team in D2. That changed. that did change. We will talk about that soon. But look at this. Ice with the 161. Legitimately, that's just insane. If Cynical, if Virginia Tech had Ice in fours for ECRC, they are D1. They take Moravian's spot probably, or Maryland's spot. Let Ice cook, honestly though, because when Ice plays, it's so big. Look at that, 161, and then Cynical is obviously amazing, dropping with the 115, and then the rest of BT is like very strong support staff. And I think that's gone kind of under the radar. Steamy and crew, Steamy, Hyper, Blizzard, especially those three have been putting in a ton of work. You see it in ECRC, and now the scouting report on them is really showing a lot of progression. And I think this is going to be a group that probably knocks on the door of D1 next season. Happy for them. Michigan State, though, I don't know. Dropping the 108, that was expected. Being one of the best players on this team, if not the best player. And then it's just kind of a rougher game for Michigan State. Probably just getting like outplayed, outled, because of having Ice and Cynical as like the kind of vets on that team on Virginia Tech. It's hard for Michigan State to match that right now. Now I don't know. Nova Jalapeno all did solid. Adler did, and Silver and Positive all put in what they could. But like overall for Michigan State, it's been a rough week. I know they results wise not where they want to be, but I think they're going to be in the come up not too long from now. And now this was an insane table. Alabama 514, Virginia Tech 470 plus 44 for Alabama. Roll Tide, because this is a phenomenal result for not Virginia Tech. This is still South Virginia Tech, but Alabama. Holy heck! This is a statement win. This is legacy defining stuff. Solution 111. J110, Brad Joe 93, Sales 80, Trombone 71, Draw Yellow 49. Then Virginia Tech 132 from Ice, Cynical 102, Steamy 93, Glizzard 54, Keyan 46, Hyper Evil Man 43. Now Solution, I think might have Solution has a good case for MVP. I think if you look at MVP the way I do, which I don't look at just like the scoring title. I think like value Solution offers so much here. So like really bringing out the rest of this potential from Alabama. And Alabama's like you'll see when we look at standings, Alabama is the top team in D2 at the moment, which is crazy to think about after last in D2 because of just forfeiting a bunch of times. But now Alabama is on another level right now, and we love to see. Jay is playing out of his mind. I know when Jay is locked in and not mentally out of it, Jay is a phenomenal player. And really showing that now, and that's cool to see. Brad Joe, I think, is probably one of the best stories of the season. Legitimately, Alabama was considered, it was like, okay, you have Solution, yes, you have Jay. Jay was kind of inconsistent for a while, but then it's like, what do you have after that? Brad Joe has really developed into that third option, and we are living for that, because that's just been really cool stuff overall, and I think it's just a testament to how good Alabama has gotten. And then you have Sales. Sales has been an insane rookie, and I love that they have like this future now with here to see like who's gonna take over, because Solution is graduating, I'm pretty sure. So it's unfortunate that this is basically their last run, and it's kind of cool to see some of the seniors kind of just pop off. You're seeing Wumbo do the same in D3. To see some of like the older students, those know who like, yeah, this is probably my last shot in CKL, really have a great run. That's always gonna be certainly cool to me. And for Virginia Tech, Ice, Cynical, and Steamy doing well. It's just like the other three just had a rough game, and I think that was big overall, and really helped Alabama pull through. Now, if this happens, I don't know if this happens again, the same result next time, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. With the way Alabama's playing, they're clicking on all cylinders. Virginia Tech gives off University of Michigan vibes. Kinda, yeah. It's kind of similar. I think this table doesn't do Virginia Tech justice because Hyper and Glizzard play a lot better than you would expect. I think this is more of an inconsistent, just a rough game for VT. But I understand the point, because Ice Cynical, it's reminiscent of like Crow Wooper or Crow Short, or maybe you could steam it as like Crow Wooper Short, basically. Oops, not Canva. Now this was a table. UNI, Tennessee, 498 to 486 plus 12 in favor of UNI. This is a 5v6, keep that in mind. Lemons Masterclass, 145. Archie, 109. Accident, 80. Icy, 75. The bot got 55? The bot got 55? Insane. And then Bendon, 34. And then for Tennessee, Evolved, 147. Ghost, 92. Jacuzzi, 75. Cisco, 64. Renko, 54. Silver, 54. Are there 2 silvers in this div? That's insane. It's hard not... It's hard. It's not hard to get 55 on best, actually. Oh my god. Dang, the Bendon slander, that's rough. Never game pinged. Probably war chat. Sorry, I haven't been able to war tonight. So, you're UNI. Now, this is a huge win. Because, remember, it's a 5v6, and UNI kind of needed the win to, like, really cement their potential run in the playoffs. It's been rough for UNI gathering this season, but being able to win the 5v6 is massive. Like, holy heck. Especially when the bot is dropping 55. That's insane stuff. Lemons, though, 145. I remember going into the season thinking Lemons had a shot at MVP. Definitely still think Lemons has a shot. Like, maybe more of a long shot now. But Lemons is still such an insane player. I won't lie, we were really high on Tennessee going into this season as like a staff overall. ECRC results really kind of swayed in favor of Tennessee. Because down in ECRCs, Tennessee's kind of killing it in D2. So, okay, I thought they were a lock in D2. I didn't think UNI was D3, I will tell you that. There was no doubt in my mind that UNI should have been at least D2. But yeah, looking back, Tennessee probably should have been in D3, but mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. We'll get, Lemons, that's what I mean. We'll go over that soon, don't worry. But overall, this is a great legacy game for UNI to win this 5v6, to go and really make a good run into playoffs. They have a chance, I think. There's like 4 teams who I think have a really good shot and a couple sleepers. So I think UNI could very well be in playoffs by the end of it. And then Tennessee's had a rough season. They've lost 2 5v6s, I think, at this point. A lot of their losses have been really close as well. And yeah, you have evolved, but I think the rest of the players just haven't developed to that point yet. Franco hasn't gotten there yet. Ghost hasn't gotten there. Ghost has been good, but not there. Jay Guzzi and Cisco, Silver, they're all solid players. They all can do well, but it's just that consistency. And I think the close games have been getting to them. I think there's a sense of desperation from this team now. So it could be interesting. But Tennessee, I think, it's a building program. They're the newest team and the highest new team in the league right now. So it could be interesting to see what they do in the future. Virginia Tech beats UNI by forfeit. Oh, that's rough. Alabama against UTK. Now this was also fun. 530 to 454 plus 76 in favor. Oh, you're playing that out still? Okay, good to know. Solution 116, J106, Trombone 100, Brad 92, Sales 72, Draw Yellow 44. Got an extension there? Yeah, Roll Tide Solution. And then for Tennessee, Evolved 115, Ghost 92, Jay Guzzi 77, Renko 66, Silver 64, and then Cisco 40. If you're looking at this group here, Alabama, this is the best we've seen Alabama play. I know, I remember saying it. I don't know if I said it on stream, but I remember believing this. I think I told Solution this at one point. Alabama with 6 is legitimately one of the best teams in the country. And now because that 6th player seems to be Sales, I think that's like a good sign here. And I think the story here is, yes, you have Solution and Jay popping off, but Trombone dropping 100, that's really big for them. Because, like, we knew Brad was going to on the come up, but to see Trombone do it, the Trombone Wizard do this, that's insanely good stuff. Really happy for them, and Sales is being consistent, dropping, like, pretty high averages, honestly, like, for a rookie. Love to see it for them. And then for Tennessee, it's more of the same. It's been rough for them this season, and it happens. These rough seasons happen. It's going through right now with Moravian, obviously, but been there before. Salesman CT, I could see the work being put in. He wants it. Love that. But yeah, for Tennessee, maybe it's a point of like just playing spoiler, just trying to get that first win off the table, because in the future this will be a good team. Remember, it's a young team, and I think they're just a few moves away and just some extra time, and I think they'll be contending soon. And then this was one of the most confusing tables I've ever seen. UNI, University of Northern Iowa, against Michigan State, 522 to 462. A plus 60 in favor of UNI. Now, okay, the table, I could see UNI being Michigan State. My thought would be Lemons and Archie popped off. And then I look at the table. And then I'm looking, Icy? 105? Dappy? 100? Archie 95? Axie 92? Lemons got 82? And then Nick got 48. And then, that's insane. 2 of 12 track picks to win by 60. This is the Icy Dappy accident game. What happened? What the heck happened here? Cause, excuse me? Just see that UNI is way deeper than I think anyone gives them credit for. I knew Icy and Dappy were going to be good. I knew Accident had a ton of potential. But like, yeah, the consistency, as Archie says, is just not always there in attendance. But when they're there and they're consistent, that's going to be a great sign for UNI in the future. And if they're clicking like this, who's to say UNI doesn't make playoffs? They might honestly make it in. Especially if they're as deep as this game shows. If they're beating Michigan State, who was like legitimately one of the best teams on paper, insane. Then for Michigan State, Nova 131, I don't know, 101. Hala Pena, I think, 80? Or there's another player, maybe. Then Noah 64, Silver 60, and then Templar 26. Remember, the D2 playoff hunt is interesting, yeah. Limiting Silver to 60 is crazy, I agree. Because I knew Silver was one of the best players on the team, and yeah, this is no Nunley, but I didn't expect Nunley to be playing as much this season anyway. And remember, this is... Nova is dropping 131, and I don't know, so dropping 101. To limit Michigan State like that is not easy. That's a deep team. And yeah, UNI is rolling as this team does. I don't know. I don't know what Michigan State was doing this game. Oh my god. That is crazy stuff, though. This is legacy finding, like, for Icy, Daffy, and Accident. I'm really happy for you. Now, I still think Michigan State's a big threat in this division, like always, but overall, crazy. Absolute craziness happened. Let's take a look at the standings here. Don't know if this is all updated, but we will see. Alabama's in first. I won't lie. I don't know if I had Alabama in first and like ever in my predictions. Yeah, this is in the Michigan State averages. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's Bo Bapu running this div. They probably just didn't get around to it at some point. I don't update. I update D4 and then I help out with D3. But if it doesn't, okay. Okay, so here, Alabama's in first right now. That's like, by kind of convincing too. Because they have a win over Virginia Tech, and that's a massive win. We love to see that from Alabama here. I think Alabama at this rate, they're not a lock for playoffs, but have a very high chance to make it, and I'm loving that for them. Virginia Tech 3-1 on the season so far. They're missing 2 games, it seems. So yeah, all the plus minuses are really close. We love to see that. So Virginia Tech still very solid overall. You knew that because they have Ice and Cynical, they're going to be insane. And they have a deeper roster than they let on. I think Virginia Tech is probably also has a very high chance to make playoffs. I think their biggest issue probably will be gathering, because I know they kind of have that trouble every now and then. It kind of plagued them last season, which is why they went 5-5 in the regular season somehow, despite having Ice and Cynical. But if ET gathers, I think they're very consistent, very good. Then UNI is 3-2, along with Michigan State. They're all tied in terms of results also. That's really cool. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think the UNI is up because of the head-to-head. I could be wrong on that, because I actually don't know all the tiebreakers now. And then the plus-minus is in favor of Michigan State. This is going to be close, because Iona still has 2 to play, keep in mind. And I think that'll be telling on what really how that shakes up the division. I think sadly Tennessee is probably out, but Iona could make a run. Michigan State could make a run. I think Michigan State's way too good to underestimate. UNI is playing hot. You can't rule them out. Virginia Tech is Ice and Cynical. What are you doing if you think they're out? And Alabama is clicking like crazily. So I think they're all great shots here. If you're looking at the awards, this is where things get interesting. So this might be a take. I actually think MVP goes as solution. Because, like, yes, Ice is averaging 148. But I think there has to be something said about solution really bringing out the best in Alabama. Like, especially the stuff that you don't see in the numbers. So, like, I think a lot of the solution stuff has to go. It really just points to him being MVP. And I think that's basically going to be my vote. Yes, I don't know, has a good chance also. Ice, obviously, just looking at that average. But for sure, the solution could be big here. Could be MVP. Most improved, I'm looking. Accident or Lemons? I agree to a point. Lemons, for sure, jumped up on averages. Well, where's Accidents? Accident, yeah, 87. They're up there contending. You could argue Jay should be most improved, but I feel like a lot of Jay's thing was just because they're actually able to play now. Because Jay was averaging pretty high last season, just not really up there. But I think what Solution's saying is true. I think if you're going to go at averages, or just look at Alabama for most improved, I'm going Bradshaw. Bradshaw, I think, is sneakily one of the scarier players. Like, legitimately, second team right now. Like, in the second best group of 6. That's insane. Because I know Bradshaw wasn't exactly looked at as that strong of a player going in, but that's changed a lot since the season. So, I think Bradshaw could be out of it. I think it could be Accident. I think it could be Steamy as well. All of these 3 have been like good, really solid overall. And then Rookie. Rookie is interesting because you have Sales at Alabama. Was it Ghost at Tennessee? I think has a good shot at it too. And then really from there, I don't know who else is new. Because I recognize most of these names. And I don't want to go into all the indivs. I could, but Bradshaw got the lag trail connection as well. Oh no. No, that's just a plus for them at that point. I'm a lock in Ghost, I think, for now for Rookie. but that could change in the future. Not gonna count Evolve because Evolve's played for multiple seasons of MKU beforehand, and then a lot of these players played somewhere else or played last season CKL. And we'll wrap it up with D1. Oh, it's dark inside out. I think I might have gone over this week. I forget. UCSD did I go over this? I can't remember, to be honest with you. Oh, we'll go over it again, because why not? UCSD 523 to Oklahoma 461. That's a plus 62 win in favor of the University of California, San Diego. Super FX 108, Zach 100, Wallabies 88, Astra 85, Top Hat Bear 73, Flight 69. Then for Oklahoma, Brett Tobias 100, Rumble 92, That Big Brown Boy 89, Golden 81, Caleb 52, and Rhino 47. Yeah, I do remember this, because I remember saying, yeah, Rhino's not going to drop 47 again. So we'll do a quicker recap for this one. This is what you expect from UCSD. Yes, this is the UCSD having the really big last GP, so I do remember talking about this. Oklahoma shows that they can contend with every team here and maybe win, but UCSD, yeah, that clutch factor. You have players like Super FX who've been playing so long, they played HD, so you know that they have that experience. You have players like Wallaby, Zach, Astra, who are really solid. You have Top Hat Bear, who's been having a great rookie season. White's been playing well, too. You have to kick UCSD down early if you want to have any shot at winning against them. And I think that's just really hard to ask on a lot of teams at the moment. And then for Oklahoma, they have a really solid core, but yeah, Caleb and Rhino had rough games, so check you out clipping Michigan State on Moomoo. Someone send me that clip and I'll check it out. Oh my god, Solheim half their team for green stepping icy. Wow. Yeah, good stuff overall from Oklahoma. And they were keeping it close up until the end. That's really all you can ask for them. But in the run back, I'm interested to see how Oklahoma responds next time they play, whether that be later this season or in playoffs. Forfeit. Okay, yeah. UCLA Kutztown was. Okay, I'll think we'll probably off stream then. Kutztown, I know, forfeit this one because why are we having fires on this? Oh my god. Oh, we're adding more. So yeah, Kutztown forfeit because this was I think the weekend of Steel City Sprint, so that's just rough timing. I know UCLA wasn't able to schedule land stuff. The big one though was UCLA Peach State. 492, a tie, and in the regular season there's no overtime. 132 from Cairo, Joy 92, Emilio 81, D-Mouse 66, Soul Rain 66, Zane 55, and for PSP, Ray 91, Spoon 90, Luxatone 87, Spruce 81, Dynamo 75, Shy Guy 68. Cairo Masterclass is just like every week though. I feel like that's every week. What's big though is that this was being a tie. That's so crazy that this ended in a tie. You're looking at this and it's like, really? Peach State's been playing well this season. I would have thought they would have had this one. UCLA played very well though. Like looking at this, 1-2 overall. Cairo and Joy played out of their mind. Cairo especially always putting in those kind of numbers, so that's not a huge shock. And Emilio playing well also, 81. That's really big. And then yeah, the rest of UCLA holding it down. Wasn't able to finish the job, but they kept it super close. And then for Peach State, the 91 to 90 to 87. This is I remember thinking Peach State and Oklahoma are built very similarly. It's just that Spoon is usually just a really strong character. Yo, shout that Deadly Mouse being in chat. Yeah, this was. What do you mean you anchored? 66 is not anchoring. Yes, it's 10th, but it's not anchoring at all. Top summon. So yeah, looking at this, this is an interesting result to think about because like I think they play again season 3 week 3 match 2. Okay, so no, they played I think already at one point. I have to check again, but did they play twice already? They did, yeah, and it was close. Peach State won the last one. UCLA is coming close on breaking that win. Yeah, they're a loss. That's what, yeah, I remember. A lot of UCLA's results are like close losses. They're so close to breaking through. It's just that they're like, it's just early at the end for things to get them, I think. I don't know what happened in this tour, but it's such a shame. Because I thought UCLA could have pulled this one out just looking at the results. But if you're looking at Peach State, Ray had a big game. Ray really just stepped up like crazy when Spoon seemed to have a bit of a lower game, as well as Lexitone and Dynamo. This is a good result for Peach State, and I think it really shows because Ray's such a good player. A lot of time mistakes to add it up. Okay, I can see that, yeah. Yeah, I'm really high on Ray, just watching Ray in CRC. So to see that Ray show up in CKL, it makes me really happy to see that. And now, over for Peach State, this is a solid result, but like that tie might actually bite them because the D1 playoff race is really interesting, and we'll talk about that soon. But overall, looking at both these teams, I don't think both these teams definitely want to win here. So seeing that tie kind of stings, I think, for both, even though it's an extra point on this table for both. UCSD, wham. I caught the end of this one, and this was close. This was actually pretty close. So 505 to 479 plus 26 win in favor of UCSD. Now UCSD has Michigan's number, like straight up. Michigan has not beaten UCSD yet, and Michigan's beaten I think every other team at least once. So yeah, we got Super FX 94, Wallabies 93, Flight 92, Top of Bear 87, Astra 70, Zach 69. Then from Michigan 116 from Crow/id, Whooper in 11 races with 98s, C2D2 86, Short 82, Maybe 48, Toadmaster 46, and Cat in 1 race with 3. I think, yeah, we'll talk about Michigan first. The Top Hat Bear is mentioning the C2D2 peak, and I think that's big. Yeah, C2D2. Underrated name. I didn't think we've seen C2D2 pop off as much as they did here. And then, really helping out, because, like, this is big, especially because Short had a bit of an off game by the looks of it. And then Pro, obviously dropping 116, that's expected. Whooper only playing 11. Probably would have scored over 100 if they played all 12, but regardless, if you're Michigan, this is a solid result overall. It's not the win that they're looking for because they are looking for wins here, especially with only 2 weeks left in the season. But it's going to be important to see how they play how the rest of the week plays out for them. And if Maybe and Toad have that like glow up that D2 has, D1 is going to be interesting because Michigan, these last 2 weeks, like, yes, Michigan has a bit of a rough record, but you would be a fool to think that this team is out of it already because it's very likely that they pull something crazy out of their ass and just like and make a run this late. Now for UCSD's looking. I think their only loss I think at this point is to Kutztown, so. And they're going to be playing against them, I think, soon. Maybe, if it's not this week, it's next week. And I think that'll be really cool. No, it's week 4. Yeah, it'll be this week. Yeah, with Super FX 94, Wallabies 93, Flight 92, like 3 people dropping over 90 is huge. Top Hat Bear dropping 87 is huge. Saturday, okay, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. What am I doing Saturday night? Okay, that's a potential prime time. If both teams are available, that actually would be a good prime time. Astra 70 and Zach 69. All great stuff if you are UCSD. UCSD has like legitimately the best group of 6, I think. Them and Oklahoma, I think, are the deepest teams. Like legitimately, this is a sinister six. Very few teams can say that, but the fact that UCSD can, it really shows how good everyone is. Everyone on the team is capable of dropping a 90. Yeah, it's like UCSD and Oklahoma are so similar. It's kind of, it actually, a lot of the half of the D1 is built the same, and the other half is also kind of built similarly. Like, you're either UCSD, Oklahoma, Peach State, which kind of have built around like depth and having more of a consistent lineup, and then you have like Kutztown, UCLA, Michigan, where they're a bit more top heavy and reliant on those like players scoring well. It's kind of an interesting dynamic, and I'm wondering how that's going to play with a playoff race coming down the line. Yeah, because Oklahoma played both their matches last week. Okay, and then last week got Michigan Peach State. Now this is the Michigan we expected this. 561 to 423, a plus 138 win in favor of Michigan, and this is why you can't be underestimating Michigan. I can't believe we're at the point where we might have to think about underestimating Michigan, but when they do this, what do? Pro 150, short 118, top at bare 113, maybe Aiden dropping 72, T2D2 dropping 64, and Momi dropping 44. Now, if you're looking at PSP, Spoon with 114, Dynamo 70, Spruce 67, Ray 60, Shy Guy 57, and Luxstone 55. Michigan shut down PSP, and that's not easy. PSP is a very deep team, and we saw Ray pop off, we've seen Luxstone pop off, we've seen Dynamo and Spoon all play well. So to see this is actually really scary and is big with the rest of the season coming down to the wire, because yes, we expect this from Michigan. This is what we all thought Michigan was going to do when the super team was formed. And Peach State is no slouch. I legitimately had it. Peach State, I think, could have been number 4 in the country. It's like them and Oklahoma, I think, were like tied for number 4. So this is a huge result. And let's just go into it right now. D1 is complicated, to say the least. Because yes, you have UCSD up here, and that's expected. Kutztown's here. Kutztown's losses are to UCLA and Oklahoma. UCLA was a forfeit. But Kutztown did beat Michigan, so that's big. And they do have a win on UCSD. I think UCSD and Kutztown are basically just fighting for that number 1 spot. We'll change this one, so that should be 12. I'll fix that later. This should be 9, but I'll fix that later. This is so interesting because how does Kutztown have 13 points? They lost to Oklahoma by a little bit. So if you actually want to know what happened, here no one cares, really. Oklahoma lost a little bit to Peach State, so that should be 0 instead of 1. UCLA lost by a little bit, but lost by 6 to Oklahoma. That should be 0, not 1. Kutztown lost very close ones to Oklahoma. That should be 0, not 1. The only extra points you should have are ties. Ties should be 1. So yeah, that's basically it. And now you get to see. Yeah, we finally fixed it, guys. This is real because 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 equals 7. 3 wins, 9. 4 wins, 12. We finally did. The Mickey Mouse runs are finally gone. But now, here we are. We are down to the last 2 weeks of the season. UCSD and Kutztown, while they're not guaranteed playoffs yet, I think, they're basically have the highest chance of making it. So then it's this last spot. And technically speaking, all 3 of these teams are still in it. If UCLA makes a run, they finish 5-1-4. And they could slip in. Michigan is 2-4 But when Michigan gets their entire lineup in, that's scary. Remember, Oklahoma beat Michigan. Let's try spicy with the run. Bang! Also, even better. Shout out to Let's Try though. Nice meeting you at the land, by the way. Hoping to see you also at Kutztown next month. Michigan is interesting because yes, they have some interesting losses. They did lose to Oklahoma, but that was without one of the big three. So this could be interesting to see Michigan. Michigan might honestly storm up. You're teaming with Batboo for the 2v2. Ooh, that's actually really cool then. I don't know if I'll be playing at all, but hey, that'd be really cool. Yeah, the Michigan-Oklahoma run back will be going crazy. I think it's very lineup dependent. I won't lie. Michigan's run is entirely dependent on does Crow, Whooper, short play. And after that, does C2D2, maybe Aiden, Toadmaster, or Momi step up? That's really what it comes down to. And I think if that's the case, maybe Michigan seals it. But no guarantee either yet. Peach State has it interesting as well because of Michigan has the easiest schedule left? Probably. I think so, yeah. Michigan has the easiest schedule, assuming they gather. Because, remember, a lot of Michigan's struggle is that they have to reschedule, and there's no guarantee that every team reschedules for them. Yeah. Every other team still has to play Michigan again. So, realistically, I feel like Kutztown will probably beat Michigan, even with top lineup. I think Kutztown's just more consistent. Plus, Kutztown, I think is only really available on default time, so they probably won't be able to reschedule. So I think Kutztown beats Michigan again. Then it becomes a battle of Peach State, Oklahoma against Michigan, and I think that's really scary to think about. Peach State is very consistent overall, usually. They had a rough week, tying, losing, but I think PSP is very good still. The generational lunch tray throw unable. Honestly, that's so sad that you're not able to play for Kutztown, because that would have been so fun to have, like, I think Kutztown UCSD is so good already, and then to have, if Trey was available, the biggest what if is if Trey could play for Kutztown. Like, legitimately, that is such a big what if. Mr. tied for third at Steel City Sprint. Like, who knows? Who knows what could have been? We almost just had a full-on Kutztown sweep the podium at that LAN. Imagine what could have been. And then it's really just Oklahoma against Peach State. Oklahoma against Peach State is like, this is their rematch means a ton. I think Oklahoma just kind of has to hold, pretty much. If Oklahoma goes 5-5, they might be able to squeak in the playoffs. But ideally, they go 6-4, and then I'm pretty sure that, depending on some wins and maybe some plus minus, it's actually really crazy. Look at the plus minuses of the ones who are in the bottom four. UCLA has the best plus minus. Granted, there's a 150 to 0 here, but that's still really interesting. Yeah, I think actually the 150 to 0 actually probably just helps out there. I think without it, they're probably out. And then Michigan's only down 42. Then here, yeah, here. This is really interesting. And then for MVP, if we're going straight up, Tech is a big contender for MVP. If Michigan makes a run late in the season to make playoffs, I think Crow might get it. I don't think Hire will get it purely because of record. Whooper's good, Bapu's good, but I think they're being the second option, so they probably won't get it. If Spoon has a case, if PSP makes a run for that last spot, then it might be Spoon. You could argue it's Super FX also just for being the best player numbers wise on the best team. But realistically, I think it's Tech. I Kutztown is so different without technical. So you have that, plus Tech is dropping an averaging 140. Like, they're winning in terms of the objective numbers. They're winning in terms of like value towards that team. Both in the game, out of the game, Tech really does a lot for Kutztown. Like, who knows it? Like, Kutztown goes from being fringe D1 to contending for a national title. That's how good Tech is, really. And I'd be pretty hyped to see Tech winning MVP again. In terms of most improved, this is where things get interesting. Because you have a few options. It could be Joy. It legitimately could be Joy. You could say it could be Spoon, because Spoon is now the first option instead of Bean from where Speedstars. Instead of Speedstars, Bean. Yeah, it could be Spoon. You could say Waluigi's has really stepped up. Any of the Oklahoma, probably Rumble and Red Tobias especially, or JWT Golden. Really, it could be any of them. Zach from UCSD, yeah, that was the next one I was looking at. For in terms of most improved. It's hard. Like, most improved, legitimately, I think a lot of D1 has, like, arguments for it has actual arguments for D1s. Which is cool. Zach jumped 100 against UCLA in his first school. Oh, God. It's hard for most improved. Yeah, this one, I don't know for this one. Because there's legitimate argument for Spoon, technically, Joy, Waluigi's Golden, Rumble, bruh, Zach. Yeah. The hard thing about giving most improved to Oklahoma on like anything is technically if you're looking at just numbers, Golden was the highest scoring player on Oklahoma, which is why I'm actually would be considering Rumble. But really, this thing about Oklahoma is that because of how they play and just the style, they probably won't win awards just because of the numbers. And then yeah, Rookie of the Season, it's really just between, I think it's legitimately just between Zach and Top Hat Bear, and if Top Hat Bear says Zach gets it, then sure. I think it's literally just Zach, Top Hat Bear Flight, pretty much. Because everyone else has been here for a while, whether that be through other leagues or just in season last time. Yeah, Flight deserves. It's legitimately top 3. The podium for Rookie of the Season is just going to be UCSD, which is cool that half their top lineup are new. It just goes to show how good and how stacked that group is, and really really how dedicated that group is, and I love that about them. So really happy to see it. Okay, I won't lie, my throat's kind of parched after that, so I'm gonna drink water. But does anyone have any questions before I start wrapping up straight? You sure I don't have anything else to add? Oh dang. Okay, well you have a replacement then. That's cool. Hot takes going into the end of the season. I won't lie. I think one of my biggest hot takes is Solutions MVP. If you want team hot takes, how hot of a take is it if I think Alabama might actually win Division 2? Like, I legitimately think Alabama has a good chance to win Division 2 now. A huge hot take would be Oklahoma could make the Cinderella run and win Division 1. They're close. I don't know if they'll click it. I think it depends on who they play in semis if they get to that point. Oklahoma could win. Maybe not this season, but maybe next season. But yeah, the way Alabama's playing, I think they could legitimately win Division 2. If you want my like early predictions on who's winning each division, it's... Oh shoot, oh no, Division 1's hard. I kinda have Pennsylvania bias and want to say Kutztown. I might say Kutztown, but I said Kutztown last time and they lost to Ontario United, so it's really hard. Oh dang, that's crazy. Division 2, I really want to say Alabama, but I think that's just objective. That's just bias at that point. Division 3, I think FIU wins. Division 4, it's Western. Yeah, there's no real hot take there. Let me think. Let me think of anything crazy. Milkshake MVP in Division 3. That's not a hot take, though. You can argue that. Who's your reasonable, not Bama pick for D2? I really want to see... I think Virginia Tech. I think there's too much experience there. Overall. You have Ice and Cynical. I think they're hungry. Steamy, Blizzard, and then Hyper Evil Man have also been really good lately. Like, I think the ECRC buff is really kicking in for Virginia Tech. And I think when April rolls around, when you have ECRC playoffs, as well as CKL, I don't think that will burn them out. I think it actually will help Virginia Tech a lot, and I think they could legitimately win it all in Division 2. That's not a big hot take, though. Here's the take. Tennessee beats Tennessee beats Michigan State. Why not? I think I can see it. I can legitimately see it. I'm trying to think. If you want like my other picks for like who wins each division, it's legitimately Kutztown, UCSD, and D1. One of them is winning it, I think. Like, unless or Michigan if they click, which could happen. If Michigan just gets there, I think Michigan also has a chance to win it all. Maybe not though, just because UCSD seems to have their number. If you're in Division 2, we talked about Alabama, we talked about Virginia Tech. Michigan State is still very good. If UNI gets consistent, UNI might win deep. It's just, can they get consistent at this point? They have to do it with 2 weeks left in the season, and they still have to make it to playoffs. I don't know if they'll have enough in the tank to win it all, because I think that's actually going to be benefiting Virginia Tech and Alabama. But, because I think UNI has to do a lot to make it in. They're third right now, but it will be hard for them. D3? Morgan probably has a good shot. I think Morgan FIU is probably going to be there. And D4, New Mexico, I think, it's a dark horse there, even though they're second and they're undefeated. Give odds for Michigan, Peach State, OU. I'm not gonna do like the whole odds things like you see like sports betting, but this might be a take. Okay, let's look at the remaining schedule. Peach State and Oklahoma play each other again. So that's close. Their matches are always close, which is the best thing about that. I think Oklahoma beats Peach State next time. Yeah, they all play each other. I think Michigan beats Peach State. I think Peach State has the hardest road, legitimately, because they play against Michigan and they play against Oklahoma. And then, yes, Peach State did beat Oklahoma, but I think Oklahoma will like probably be fine against them. I know that's also bias on my end because I coach them. Michigan locks, and I think it's all contingent on if Michigan has their best players playing. Because Crow isn't available on Saturdays, if I remember right. That's the thing. Because this Hot Pepper has it correctly. If you're in D1 chat, you know. But Michigan's biggest struggle is having to play on Saturday. Because Crow is not available half the time, the majority of the time. And if that's the case, then Michigan's stocks are really hard. Because it's not a slight against Short or Whooper, but it's more of a comment on how the other four are just not there yet. And it's there, and Michigan is here because we thought Crow would be available. And because we also thought Mexican would play. Now, if Mexican comes back and last week of the regular season, then everything changes. Because then it's like, oh my god, or if Mexican comes back for playoffs, then Michigan might just win it all. Legitimately. It's just all dependent on... Oh yeah, Michigan's still D1 without Crow. It's just that I think they're closer to like UCLA than they are to UCSD, pretty much. So they're like University of Southern California. I don't know where all the UC schools are together, but yeah, that's pretty much what Michigan becomes. Imagine the Mexican. We saw Nunley come back from Michigan State. Can you imagine that? How cool that would be if Mexican comes back in the like playoffs or comes back in the last week of the season. Now, obviously, school comes first and like it's first, but imagine if Mexican comes back. Kind of praying on it, because that'd be super cool. Anything else then? If you want to act my actual odds, I'll give you my rank order. I think Oklahoma, Michigan, Peach State. Seems hard to watch. I don't know about that. I think UCSD is too deep at the moment to make it happen. I think actually, if you want to know my biggest thing for UCSD, it's yes, they did win syllabus week, but I am very curious about how the best of 3 goes for them, because especially for whoever is the D1 or whoever's the top seed, Michigan 40, OE 5, PSP 5, drop. That's about it. Can't start well. Yeah, I think best of 3 is going to be interesting because then it becomes a battle of stamina and. Realistically, as good as the UCSD players are, especially the rookies, there is something different about playing 3 matches in a row in a playoff setting. Like I did it before in MKU, and it's very interesting. I never went all 3 games, but it gets taxing after a while. The endurance, you just do enduro races in Gran Turismo Sport. That's cool. But yeah, I'm not worried about your top bear, but like. It does mean something. The endurance will come into a factor. In fact, I actually think I think that's actually a part of why Kutztown lost in finals last season. They kind of just burned out by 4-2. I think they're much better now, but time will tell. Let's see. If you're still in chat and haven't dropped the follow, please follow. If you want to know, when we hit 100 followers, my plan thing, I kind of want to start doing a project. We're just gonna rank. We're gonna do like if you ever want to do like NBA rank or whatever NFL or MLB calls it, where they rank like all the players in the. Where we're just gonna rank all the collegiate players. We're just gonna do like an overall like top 100 collegiate players right now. I think that'd be really cool to do. I'll be open to having like if anyone wants to be like part of that project. Like I know I was gonna ask Solution for sure. Because I know like Solutions really follows a lot of the scene and has a lot of intel, and I know I'm top at Bear. Also, I'd probably ask him if he's down to do it because like has a lot of intel on a lot of the newer players. So, but I think it'd be a really cool thing to do. Especially like, that's something I want to do towards the end of like the academic year. One, ranking of every team because yes, they have divisions, but I think you have to consider within Division 2 or like across divisions do like an overall like ranking. Like an end of the year ranking all the teams. I'd also have to do like an end of the year player ranking, like because I think that'd be really cool. So 100 followers is the goal, but it might happen regardless. But yeah, Actually, I think it'd be fun doing like we'll rank 100 players across like CKL, across ECRC. I think if we do it across both, it'd be kind of fun because we'll see like Bobby J also, or like the NC State players, like kind of get all those players. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of players here, a lot of teams to talk about. But yeah, if that's it, if no one has anything else to say, that's gonna be it for tonight. But yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. It's always been a blast getting to do this with you guys. If the Riptide shirt wasn't an obvious thing, I will be going to Riptide this year. We'll still going to MomoCon and all that. So hope to see you guys around in the future. But yeah, hey, please stream me again next week. Maybe I might move it to Tuesday. Maybe we'll see. I might move the day because I feel bad streaming at the same time Mitch does. So same day and time as Mitch. We'll see. But hey, thank you again, guys, for coming in. Hope to see you guys again next week.